Google versus Samsung, Tensor versus the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and of course the Google Assistant versus Bixby. Okay, that last part was a joke, but these two phones are quite similar. They both have a curved display, a 5,000 mAh of battery, and a new generation chip that was powering them. So in this video, I'm going to just choose and see which is the most viable Android device for you. And even though Google sent me this phone because I am on Team Pixel, I'll be very unbiased when it comes to my comparisons. Now, let's get this party started. These two phones are flagship devices, but when it comes to the price, the Pixel 6 Pro is definitely cheaper. In all its glory, the Pixel 6 Pro is $899 USD, while the S22 Ultra is $1,200 USD. Now you're going to wonder, is the more expensive S22 Ultra the superior phone because it's more expensive? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Both the Pixel 6 Pro and the S22 Ultra are very different when it comes to their design and their form factor. The Pixel 6 Pro is 6.71 inches and has an all-glass back covered with Gorilla Glass Victus. It's not exactly the heaviest phone around, coming up at 210 grams, and it's definitely lighter than some flagship phones that are out there in 2022. It is also scratch resistant due to its all-glass frame, and at the same time is quite slippery, so you have to be careful if you're carrying your phone out without a case, because this is prone to accidental falls and damages. Compared to the S22 Ultra, the new Samsung flagship is a 6.8-inch device with a smooth matte finish at the back, covered all round with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Now, some people might find this display or large display a blessing because they can watch movies, play games, and do whatever they want to do on such a huge display. But for someone like me, I found this phone on a daily basis a burden because it was too heavy and too uncomfortable to use with one hand that most of the time I found myself just dropping the phone on the table and using my iPad or my laptop or the iMac to just do work. Hopefully I get used to this in the next coming weeks, so time will tell. The camera bumps on these phones are very different when it comes to their design and their uniqueness. While Samsung went for a different variation to the older S21 Ultra, Google and the Pixel went a totally different direction and gave us a horizontal camera bump, which I didn't like at first, but eventually it grew on me. And to be fair, I think is one of the most unique ways to give or put a camera bump on a smartphone. On the side, both phones got it right by having the power button and the volume button on one side of the phone. At the bottom, you have stereo speakers with no headphone jack, a USB-C port for USB-C charging. Now, what makes the S22 Ultra unique and more expensive than the Pixel 6 Pro is that S Pen. Google doesn't have one, and quite frankly, I don't exactly think they need one in the long term. Now, the S Pen is great if you're a designer, an architect, and whatnot, but if you're a casual user just like myself, it's almost an afterthought every single time you're going to use your phone. Okay, when it comes to displays, the S22 Ultra has the better display. It is a dynamic AMOLED 2X that is a 120Hz refresh rate and can go as low as 1Hz when staring at the screen thanks to that LTPO panel. While the Pixel 6 Pro is an AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. Now, it is slightly easier to reach all four corners with the Pixel 6 Pro with one hand than the S22 Ultra. The S22 Ultra produced richer, vibrant, and more accurate colors than the Pixel 6 Pro. It also reached a higher max brightness of 1750 nits to the Pixel 6 Pro's 860 nits, which is definitely brighter on the S22 Ultra. But when you're outside, depending on how bright it is, you won't really have much of an issue on both phones. The difference is clear, don't get me wrong, but there is decent visibility with the Pixel 6 Pro. Besides, having your phone on the highest brightness affects your battery life significantly. And speaking of the battery life, the 5,000 mAh capacity on both the Pixel 6 Pro and the S22 Ultra don't exactly do both phones justice. On the Pixel 6 Pro, I get about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, and my phone dies consistently every day by 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. when I'm on my way home from classes. It's pretty annoying because at that time I just want to listen to music, but the phone disappoints me every now and then, and even with the updates, it hasn't exactly gotten better. Whereas on the S22 Ultra, it gets me home but dies like 15 to 20 minutes when I get home. It's also disappointing because that gives me about 5 hours of screen on time also. And when you consider that these phones are flagship quality, is utterly very disappointing. I'm hoping that with the Pixel 7 Pro or the S23 Ultra, the battery will be definitely better than, the competition like the iPhone 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. Unlocking these phones are very similar, but they are different in their own way. The S22 Ultra has an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which is faster, responds to wet or dirty hands, and is more secure, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro went for the optical fingerprint scanner, which is a less secure scanner and is kind of slower, to be fair. I mean, when I did get the phone, the fingerprint scanner was an issue for me, but over the last couple of months with updates and working, the scanner is definitely faster, definitely better and more viable in 2022, and I'm just kind of glad that Pixel or Google noticed this and they worked on it. Both phones have Android 12 with different skins, so to speak. Google has Material U, while Samsung has One UI. Now, I'm happy I'm doing this video now because about a month or two ago, my take on the performance on the Pixel 6 Pro would have been very different. So, beginning of the year, my Pixel 6 Pro has been plagued with different bugs, and it's been unbearable to use the phone. The phone crashes every now and then. It's just pretty much annoying. And with the February update that came, it even got worse because my Wi-Fi would just automatically turn off, which made the phone definitely more unusable because I was using mobile data, and that's definitely more expensive. But it was late than never, but with the March and April updates, they've kind of given me the performance that I have been expecting for a while now. And it's been pretty good. It's been pretty snappy. There's not been any issues so far. And I'm just happy Google actually listened to feedback and implemented that feedback. While on the S22 Ultra, it's been smooth sailing from the very beginning. It's been fast. It's been snappy. I even said in my original review of the S22 Ultra that this is the snappiest Android phone that I have used in a while. Over the years, Samsung has refined One UI and given it a more balanced and enjoyable experience when it comes to an Android phone. Now, if I had to pick between One UI and Material U, I would definitely go for Material U, and I'll tell you why. It feels more personable with its wallpaper adaptability and color themes. It has a more fresh tone with its widget system and its different styles and icons. Now, while this last part may be nitpicky, I definitely prefer a vertical app drawer to the horizontal one on One UI. Don't get me wrong, One UI has made strides to be more customizable. I even think it has more customizations with its themes, color palettes, and of course the lock screen widgets. But when it comes down to preference, I definitely prefer Material U. Now let's talk about the cameras, starting with the Pixel 6 Pro. The 6 Pro has a triple camera system, a 50 megapixel wide angle lens, a 48 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, with video that shoots at 4K 30 and 60 frames per second. While the S22 Ultra comes with a 4 camera system at the back and one in front. You have the main sensor, which is 108 megapixels, an ultra-wide lens, and 2 telephoto lenses with upgraded sensors for 3x zoom and 10x zoom. Looking at the main shooter on both phones, the Pixel camera is the easiest to navigate. I still call it the best point and shoot camera at the moment. It gives a more cooler color temperature than the S22 Ultra, which gives a warmer temperature. Both phones will produce vibrant colors and with good dynamic range. The Pixel 6 Pro is a bit more consistent with its shots than the S22 Ultra, but when it comes to the telephoto lenses, Samsung has perfected that zoomed in photo. The S22 Ultra can go as far as 100x with its optical zoom, but with the Pixel 6 Pro, it maxes out at 20x. Now, when compared, the S22 Ultra has better detail with its periscope lenses. It's great to have a zoom function, but personally, after a while, it just felt like overkill, and I definitely didn't use that zoom feature for too long. Video-wise though, the S22 Ultra shoots in 8K at 24 frames per second and edges the Pixel 6 Pro camera in that department, so it is something to consider if you shoot a lot of videos. Both these phones are great to have. The Pixel 6 Pro will give you the best of Google when it comes to having the smartest smartphone in the world right now. It's also going to give you Material U on Android 12, plus having the best point and shoot camera right now. Whereas on the S22 Ultra, you're going to get a better display, a slightly better battery, and of course that great video camera that is within the phone, plus the S Pen. Now when it comes to recommending the most viable Android phone to you guys, I would say the most logical choice is the Pixel 6 Pro. It is $899 USD, which is definitely cheaper. You're going to get better software and of course better camera. Now it just gives you more value for money when it comes to, what phone to choose between the Pixel 6 Pro and the S22 Ultra. But what do you guys think? Do you think the S22 Ultra is better than the Pixel 6 Pro or vice versa? Comment below and let me know. And guys, if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you can get more notifications when I drop videos like this. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJOS and I will catch you guys in the next one where I talk all things tech.